Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to start our discussion about the influenza virus. Now, why is the influenza virus important? Well, I think I might have to do another little storytelling. You've got a good storytelling session coming up when I took a long hike. It's coming. But the influenza virus is important because the influenza virus 100 years ago, maybe even more than 100 years ago, we just don't necessarily have everything recorded, and mankind didn't really understand some of the things that happened in many moons and years and centuries ago. But the influenza virus of 1917, 18, and 19 was such a bad virus that millions of people died. Our community of physicians decided that, and the people decided that if there was anything we could do to make sure that never happened again, we, as human beings of this planet Earth, were going to do the best we can to make it never come back. And so over time, what we did is we developed the influenza vaccine. It took many years after that pandemic of 1917, 18, 19 that we were, as a world, able to develop a vaccine to help people not die so readily, so quickly, so easily. Again, the influenza vaccine is very similar to the coronavirus that we're seeing in the world today, that weaker people, weaker. I don't want to say weaker, but how about if I say people with lots of medical conditions are more likely to have a bad outcome, or bad things are more easily able to happen to somebody with a lot of medical conditions, whether they get influenza, whether they get the coronavirus, or whether they get measles. So our world developed the influenza vaccine as a means to prevent you from dying. And I have friends right now that are anti-vaxxers, and that's a whole different conversation. I don't want to get into that, but the vaccines that were made since many years ago have been given to people, and we know for a fact that because of the influenza vaccines that are given out every year, and I'll have to explain why that is also, we do not have as many people dying as are currently dying from the coronavirus pandemic. The coronavirus pandemic here in America at this point has killed maybe 60,000, or 60,000 people have succumbed or died as a result of a serious infection. The people who have died this year from influenza is much less than 60,000. We still had many thousands who did die from influenza. And why are we still having that? Oh, that's another question for a different time. For now, I just want to introduce you to the influenza virus. And I want you to be aware of what I just said, that there's a lot of things going on with infections and viruses and respiratory viruses. And that as you listen to me talk about these things, you're going to pick up some trends. You're going to pick up some similarities from virus to virus to virus. And it's going to help you know what to do the next time a new virus or an epidemic comes your way. And that's the real reason why I'm making all of these videos, particularly these respiratory virus videos. I might have to revisit some of the topics like para-influenza or rhinovirus again to give more clarification. But now you understand why. It's because I need you to be able to be smart enough to know what to do the next time you, maybe let's say 2021, 2022, you go on YouTube or you go on the internet and you find, oh, there's some new infection coming out of Africa, or there's a new infection coming out of South America, and you start to read about it. The knowledge that you're learning right now is going to help you make some decisions about how you want to act or react before the national organizations of your country put together a plan. Why does it take a national organization of a country so long to put together a plan for what to do with a new virus? Because every country wants to do what's right for its people. No country wants to make a mistake for its people. So they want to make sure that whatever decisions they're making are decisions that are going to be the right decisions. Sadly, in order for that to happen, you have to wait. You need to give it some time before you'll actually know whether the decision that you're wanting to make is a decision that's going to save lives or a decision that's going to tear apart your economy. And as a result of these difficult decisions, all of the countries of the world took a fair amount of time, meaning they didn't overnight make a decision to close down, to stay at home. It took them a little bit of time to make these conclusions. We do see that India was a country that made this decision fairly quickly and very firmly. But, you know, I think China probably also did too. That's the reason why we don't see so much spread the way that we've seen it in other countries in China. Although China is a big geographic country, America is a big geographic country, India is also a big geographic country, meaning hundreds of miles from one side to the other side. So we're seeing cases in certain parts of these very large countries. Anyway, there's so many interesting things to talk about when it comes to virology and the infections that are going around the world. I think I'm going to end this right now, and then I'll start the influenza virus video in a moment.